All right, what's up, traders? This is new streaming, so let me know in the comment section if you can hear my voice, see my screen, all that good stuff. There is a lag between the time that I will see your comment. This is new streaming, so let me know in the comment section if you can hear my voice. Well, see my screen, I can hear all that good stuff. There is a lag. There's my phone. All right, so here we go. All right, we're gonna look at Bitcoin first, the king of all assets. I got all the moving averages pulled up here. As you can see, I have a trend line coming in from the high of this bearish candle on the January the 10th, I'm sorry. And it's just essentially caressing the top of these candles here. So down here, this yellow line is just an hourly candle that I was watching this morning. Let me kill these moving averages so you can see what I'm talking about here. All right, so I just took it off from this doji candle here. And you can see that we did test this level a couple times before price took away, but we have came back down and retested this level, which would indicate that the bears are still in control of this market. What we need to see is we definitely need to see a closure above this market structure level, at least on an hourly time frame, for me to get anywhere thinking even about this going back up to test higher levels. On the weekly chart, we have two red weekly candles. Both of these candles are not massive selling pressure candles. They are, all right, they are basically, this is good. I mean, this is consolidation at a higher level. This is not massive selling pressure. If you go back to what happened, obviously you can't use past performances because it's definitely not indicative of future results. But when we made the all-time high back here at $19,891, this is the Coinbase chart or the Coinbase data feed. You can see that this weekly candle here took out 2 weeks of very, very bullish price action. All right, so you took out the low of this candle with this candle. If we go back over here to normal, you can see that we haven't even taken out the low of this week's candle. All right. So in order for this to be extremely bearish, you would absolutely want to see at least the low of this candle be taken out because that was your last bullish weekly closing candle. You do not have that. This is not bearish price action at all. This is simply just a pullback. All right. Now I have some lower levels here. Let me go back in a daily chart so I can basically show you what I did, how I got them. I am a little bit nervous, so my hand is shaky. I apologize about that. So here we go with this level here. This first level is just going to be the closing price of this bearish candle at 26,482 spot 64, 26,482 spot 64. It is a fresh level. It has never been tested. I would still be extremely bullish on this asset if we got a test down here. I buy every single red weekly candle and have been for the past year on Bitcoin. So I will continue to keep doing this until I don't know when, who knows? We'll just have to watch and see. But that's where this first level comes into play. Obviously, if you're closing dailies below that, my next level would be to watch would be 23,824 spot 13. All right. Now this is still bullish. If you throw a trend line on this thing, you can see that it is bullish. It's not even close to being bearish. You need to break lower market structures as well as take out ascending trend line support before you can even classify an asset as being even relevantly bearish, even a little bit. All right. This thing is not even a little bit bearish yet. It is the weekend price action, so it is a little bit shoddy. I do not like this daily candle because you essentially tested the midpoint of this candle here and you did close roughly perfectly. And this candle, you are now testing the midpoint of this little weak bullish candle. So I will expect range bound price action on Bitcoin for the week to come, unless there is some unforeseen news item, of epic proportion that comes out. The FUD machine is rolling. I read somewhere that over in India, they're blaming Bitcoin for a power outage or somewhere. I can't remember if it was India, but I mean, they're going to think of anything they can to get this thing down so that way they can say, I told you so. So pretty much that's all I have on Bitcoin. I mean, there's really nothing to do. Like I said, I buy the close of every weekly candle. So if it's red, so when this candle closes, if it closes, we got 1 day and 6 hours left, I will be buying it. All right, so here we go. We're going to check out ETH. I know everybody's anxious to look at ETH. That yellow line on the top is the all-time high. We did come up and we pierced that line, but we did not close above that. All right, so this was an area where profit taking came into play, and you also have bears on this market trying to short it, obviously. This was a nasty bearish candle. I don't want to see that. When price comes up into an all-time high, I want to see price consolidate underneath the all-time high, because that would indicate that there is accumulation going on underneath price, aiming for the top level. This big bearish candle simply states that once the bulls got up into this area, yes, they did break, but they were not aggressive enough to keep price up here, and the selling was more aggressive. One thing you need to know as a new trader, price is moved by aggressiveness of buyers and sellers. There is not more buyers than sellers, and there is not more sellers than buyers. There is a buy for every sell and a sell for every buy. All right, that's how the market works. What makes the candles move up or down is the aggressiveness of the other party. So like in this move here, obviously the bulls were more aggressive than the sellers. They were buying faster than the sellers could sell, essentially. So that's what happens. So you can see when you come up into this test of the all-time high and you drop off like a rock. You didn't drop off bad though, because you just simply tested your last low market structure level on a daily basis, which is this area here at 1049.79. You came down and you tested that and you had a nice bounce. Excuse me. You had a nice bounce, and you are showing signs of bullish behavior coming off of that bounce. This is good. You are now trading above this swing high. Now, this swing high isn't as relevant anymore because it had already been taken out. But when you are up trading at levels like this, the only thing you have to look at is past data. And according to this little swing high here, this last bearish candle, you closed this candle right on the open of this candle, essentially. So if I bring this line over here and show you what I'm talking about, you can see how this closure was right on the line of that bearish candle. That's because this bearish candle is important. All right, so moving forward, we did try to pass through, but the bulls are being more aggressive on this. And so far, we are trading above that level, which is what you want to see if you are bullish on this asset. Now, I can throw a trend line on this too, but it's just the way it's been moving. It was a nice methodical push up. It wasn't super parabolic, which is what you want to see. It did become super parabolic after we broke above this swing high here. And that's to be expected because shorters were obviously targeting this area right here from this swing high here. Let me get rid of that. So they were, they use swing highs and swing lows to basically base their limit orders upon. So everybody's shorting here. So when you make a push up, this push down is essentially just creating sentiment for the bears to pile in hard. So we got that push away. This is a false breakout according to them. But note, you never took out this lower high, this market structure low. You never closed the daily below that. Therefore, anybody that got short here was jumping the gun and they got smoked. All right, that's how price action works. You need to focus on your market structure levels, your swing lows and your swing highs, because that is where everybody is basing their trades and their decisions upon. So this thing is extremely bullish still, accumulating underneath the all-time high, which is okay. And you essentially had a 25% drop, but crypto, as we know, is extremely volatile. So obviously, if a 25% drop in crypto is nothing, you can get that on a 1 hour candle. I've seen it happen so many times. We're in good shape here. You're accumulating underneath the all-time high. I would love to see a daily breakout and a closure, a retest, and see it. That would be phenomenal. So we're just going to keep watching this area. This daily close is also going to be the weekly close, and it's going to be vital. Oh, wait, no, I'm on Saturday. I'm sorry, guys. I'm a day behind. Tomorrow is going to be vital because it's also going to be your weekly close. And your weekly close needs to be, I would like to see it close above 1231 spot 32. Now, if you don't get that close above, if you do close below, it's not time to get worried. Like I said, you don't worry until you start breaking lower market structures on a daily closing basis. All right, EOS. EOS has essentially been trading in a range forever. I mean, here's your range right here. All right, this is your last swing high. You did get a daily closure above that level, but you dropped right back down in and almost went all the way back down to the bottom end of the range, which is this market structure level here. So if you look at this price action here, every single bit of it is contained within this uptrend or this bullish candle's close and this bearish candle's close. That is your containment area. There is nothing to do on this thing until you get a break below 2.311 or a break above 3.600. Now, there is a lot of range there to trade if you trade cryptos. I trade cryptos on a swing trading basis only, and I only buy Bitcoin. I will trade these things if they're at levels. If I pull up the exponential moving averages, I have a whole slew of them here. If you want to know what these market or what these lines are, essentially the yellow or the white is the 10 simple, the yellow is the 21, the green is the 50, the blue is the 100, the 200 is the purple, this is the 377, and the thick white line is your 200 simple. And you are trading in like this is discombobulation. Everybody's getting stopped out left and right. This thing doesn't know which way it wants to go. So leave this alone until you get that breakout. All right. Unless you want to buy down here. If you want to buy down here, then that would be more of a better trade than buying or selling anywhere in this area. All right. If you're going to take trades on the outer edges of the ranges, aiming for the opposite side. You're still taking a chance on getting stopped out because if it breaks out, obviously you're going to be on the wrong side of that trade. So in closing, this thing is not really even bullish. I mean, it's range bound. The chart's not that great. You had nothing but selling pressure until you came down into here, and then you have been stuck in this area. So this thing is a no-fly zone. Litecoin is just basically emulating Bitcoin. That's all it's doing. Brandon is our tech guy. He knows what these use cases are for these things. All I'm doing is showing you what I see using technical analysis. This thing is just acting like Bitcoin. You do have a lower close here from a market structure. This market structure low. This candle did pierce and close below that. You immediately traded right back up into it. So this is sussing itself out. All right. There really isn't anything to do here either. If you get a trade down, if you get a breakdown back below here, then you can look to take this trade or look to target at the very least this level here at 111.04. Okay. Once you get to that area, you do have more stuff here. So there will be orders sitting here to buy or take profit. That will give you your bounce. If you look at a weekly chart, it isn't even close to breaking out of its all-time high. Its all-time high is way up here. It did break above this level here, which was the Bitcoin Heath line level at 14,000. That was that major high. We were waiting for Bitcoin to break above. You have just now broke above that on Litecoin. So Litecoin is lagging behind Bitcoin and Ethereum. Link is unstoppable. This is the most beautiful price action that you want to see around these levels. All right. So essentially you come up, you make a market structure high right here. Get rid of this one. You make a market structure high right there, and then you consolidate. You come down, you print a new market structure, swing low. And then notice all the daily candles. Once we traded up out of this area, once we made this down closing candles low, the close, you got a bullish candle that reversed the trend, and you only got tests back into that area. This was merely a test as well. Obviously, there was buying pressure here, causing this thing to close like that. This is going to be your next market structure swing low to watch for bearishness. If you start closing daily candles below 12.14707, then you're probably going to test lower prices. This market structure is going to be the first area that gets tested. It is not a fresh level. This one is not fresh either, as these candles already tested this. This is your first untested fresh level, and it's all the way down here at 4.35299. Do I think Litecoin or Link's going all the way back down there? I doubt it. A lot of people are just, this thing is strong, man. I mean, it's perfect. It's absolutely perfect. You could have gotten long here and you're riding this trend. You have broke above, you have closed above, you have retested, you are moving higher. This is what you want to see as a hodler, as a trader. This is beautiful. This is what you want to see. XRP. This is some phenomenal price action on SRP. Oh my gosh, look at this. I'm just joking. This thing isn't, you're not allowed to trade this right now due to an SEC investigation. All right, here we are. XLM, Stellar. Stellar has broken out as well. It has broken above this area here. I do not know what this area is. I should have been a little bit more prepared. That's okay. Here we go. There is your first swing high. You got a nice, strong, bullish closure above that on a weekly closing basis. That is beautiful. Now you are trading in a range to down, which is okay. A test of this level here at 1943 spot or 10 spot 194349 would be a valid place to look for a closing above. So on a daily basis, if you get a wick down and you close back above, that would be a decent buying signal. This is not financial advice. All right. But that's what I'm going to be looking at. If I throw the moving averages on here, you can clearly see this is bullish. All right. You are trading back down below the 10 simple, but when you have massive spike like this and then you trade sideways, these moving averages will catch up the price. That doesn't necessarily mean that the bears are in control. Actually, this looks more healthy than anything. You are still holding level. This is your next level to watch. If you get a daily closure below it, that's 0 spot 251108. Look for this level to come into play. All right. And that is good. Excuse me. If you're bullish, because bears are loading up here. They think that this is the end of the draw for crypto. It's going back to 0. We must short it now. Let's dive in. All right. So they're in here. They're locked and loaded. You have this trend line. That is a target. So a test down to here would get them very confident. Buyers could regain control of this thing. You get a break above this trend line. And also this level up here at 0 spot 303,415. One more time. 0 spot 303,415. This thing will be going off like a rocket ship. Cardano BTC it's looking good. I mean, it is looking good. You don't have enough data on Coinbase's price chart to even populate a 200 simple or a 200 exponential moving average. Definitely not a 377. It looks like the last one we were able to get is the 100. All right. Price has broken above all those levels, consolidated, took out this trend line, closed very, very strong, and then closed very, very strong again. You are consolidating. You are pushing higher. This is your market structure level to watch. You get a daily closure above that. It's hard to tell where this thing's going. All right. This price action over here is very gappy and spotty because there wasn't as much liquidity in this market as there is now, obviously, with the run up that's causing a lot of FOMO stuff happening. But that's a doji. So, I mean, I wouldn't really trust that as a level. We will throw it on the chart just to kind of watch it. But I'm pretty sure okay, that'd be a good area to watch. That area is 1164. All right. That area would be a good area to look to even possibly take profits or just see what happens, how price reacts around that level. All right. So moving on. If you guys have any questions, if you want me to look at a specific pair, a stock, I don't care what it is. Just please, if you want me to look at like anything other than Forex or stocks, you got to drop the ticker symbol for me because I'm not good with commodities. I do have all the metals and stuff, but just let me know. So let's go into a 4-hour or an 8-hour chart real quick, just to get a little bit more of a view of this consolidation. Let's get rid of these moving averages because I can see that it's bullish. You can see that it's bullish. You traded down. This was a stop run right here. You have your stop run. This was it. You came down, you broke that area, and look at this strong bullish push out of there. So everybody thought that this was going lower. They got stopped out. This thing moved higher. There were so many stops accumulated down here. Look how far it went. You had one pullback candle here. I mean, these are technically pullback candles as well, but they're not red. So this is a session candle. It's an 8-hour candle, meaning obviously there's 3 candles for a daily session. So basically this was a session candle. It looks like it was a New York session candle. And then you went away. You came back down. You traded into that area. You did close below it, but you have since left that area and you are looking strong. You are accumulating. This is your level to watch. This is your lower market structure swing low. There's a lot of candles there, but they're all the bodies are on that area. That's the area. That is 996. How do you look for swing high and swing low? That's from Ryan Fan. Ryan Fan, this right here is a swing high. It is a lower swing high because when this price was moving down, you can see it moving down. So every pop in price, this is a swing high. Let me stretch it out so you guys can see. I keep forgetting about you guys on mobile. So this is a swing high. This is a swing low. This is a swing high. This is a swing low. So on and on it goes. This is your swing high. This is a swing low. That's what a swing high and a swing low is. These are areas where there will be stops above because you have shorters getting short against these areas. And down here on the lower ends of the swing lows, you have longers or buyers getting long against these levels. So basically, when I say that it was a classic liquidity purge in any of my other videos, basically all I'm saying is price traded down and we smoked all the stops that were resting below these swing lows. All right. That indicates when this candle was coming down, it is a strong bearish candle, but this is when whoever has the most buying power, I guess you could say, like banks, institutions, they are buying this candle. They are buying this candle. They're not buying this candle. They're buying this candle all the way down. As it comes down, it keeps going lower and lower and lower because once these stops get hit, that triggers more selling. So it just keeps going down lower and lower and lower because a stop on a buy order is a sell order. So once all these sells get accumulated, because as this is going down, tripping stop losses after stop losses after stop losses, you have banks and larger funds that are buying into those stops. They're buying into those stops, buying into those stops. And then when you finally get to close, you get a move like this. Boom. A massive candle coming right up out of there. So strong. It went forever before it even had a pullback. That indicates that this area was a massive area and a very aggressive area where buyers were getting involved because these stops were the main focus. All right. You need to start looking at swing highs as targets for intraday trades. If you're an intraday trader, if you're a swing trader, you can get long down here and target this high, but obviously you would target it over here. So essentially the way I would trade this, if I got long, I did not trade this. Okay. This is a hypothetical, just a scenario. If I would be looking at this as a buying opportunity, I would be targeting this high. So essentially when we moved up and we hit this area, I would simply reduce my position size by 2/3. I would then bring my stop loss up to break even. So that way, if we get rejected here and price comes back down, I get stopped out, but I still made money on the trade. Learning how to trade is about making money. It's about you figuring out an edge inside of these markets so that way you can put money in the bank. Putting money in the bank is the very, very, very hardest part of this. It's easy to make money in the markets, guys. It's hard to keep it. It's very hard to keep it. You have to be patient. You have to wait for your setups. You have to have clear, defined rules for your setups. Then you have to execute those rules with precision. And you have to trade that way every single time. When I go into the C.T.M community chat room and I'm throwing out trades and stuff, I'm trading the exact same way that I trade day in, day out, day in and day out. So anybody that's been in the C.T.M room for more than a year, they know this about me. They know that we do this on a daily basis. Billy, are support and resistance lines better on the daily or weekly, or does it depend? Also, look at Tesla, Nio, and UVXY if you can. Thanks. Yeah, sure. Yeah, Billy, your higher time frame areas are obviously going, or your higher time frame support and resistance levels are obviously going to hold more weight. All right, because all right, so excuse me. So big, large hedge funds, they have to move serious amounts of cash, serious amounts of capital. So essentially, they're not day trading. I'm day trading, and other retail traders are day trading. There may be a few hedge funds that day trade, but most of them are moving massive amounts of capital, and they're looking for good risk to reward scenarios. So you had a massive selling down here. This is going to be, because it's the body closure. Some people use wicks. I only use bodies. You can clearly see that once we penetrated this area here, this swing low, by using the body of this bearish candle, once we pierce that area, this next weekly candle traded above but closed below. All right. So that indicated weakness, but it was a fake out, obviously, because the next move was very strong. Usually when you see a large wick on a bullish candle like this, that doesn't indicate selling pressure. It indicates a pullback on a smaller time frame. So like if I go and look at this exact area on a daily chart, what you will see is you will see daily closures up. You will see a high put in, and then probably a couple bearish daily candles where it retested the breakout area, which was old support or old resistance, now support, and they got long again, and that's why you get that. So here again on this wick doesn't indicate selling pressure. If you're looking at these long wicks and the candle closed green, that doesn't indicate selling pressure. That indicates a pullback. Always keep that in mind. When does a long wick indicate selling pressure? When this candle closes red. All right. That's when that indicates selling pressure. If this candle opens green, this is your opening price all the way down here. If you get a big long wick and then price comes back down, that is sellers in control. As long as the candle is closing green, chances are this was a pullback. So yes, to answer your question, weekly areas are going to hold more weight than daily, 8-hour, 4-hour, 1 hour, so on and so forth. A 5-minute candle doesn't hold much weight unless you are looking at a specific target on a 5-minute chart. All right, Tesla. Tesla is unstoppable. This was the biggest short squeeze in history. I mean, you couple that with the fact that you are being led by the most brilliant mind in the world, probably among us living, which is Elon Musk. You trigger the fact that he is turned Tesla into a profitable company for six quarters now. I mean, 5, getting ready to hear the 6th. This was a short squeeze post or pre-split. Before the split, this high was around $240 something. I can't exactly remember the exact price because it was so long ago. But we had that sell-off when the Fed started talking about tightening the whatever, when the SPY sold off back in this time here, right before Christmas. That's when it traded down. But when we broke up out of there, we came back, we tested that all-time high, and you have not looked back since. In my opinion, if you want to buy this asset, you need to look at it the same way that I do. You need to buy weekly closures. I mean, I don't recommend buying up here, guys, because the risk to reward, I mean, sure, yeah, it can 10x from here because he's not just a car company and all this other stuff, but this is a FOMO play. You have a lot of people going to ape shit over this thing. He is posting profitable trades. He is an energy company, a technology company. He is all of the above. It's impossible to get a good price prediction on Tesla. Since you broke out above this bear flag or this wedge or pattern, whatever you want to call it, you've only closed 3 weekly bearish candles, and those bearish candles were met with buying pressure. I mean, I would pull back to around the $440 level, which would be this bearish candle here. I would love to see that. I would absolutely buy it. All right, let me get Nio and UVXY for you. But really and truly, there's not much to do there, man. And I'm sure Nio is going to look pretty close to the same. It does. These are weekly candles. I'll go into a daily. Yeah, I mean, you have gaps below, but gaps don't have to fill. I mean, that's a pretty big gap there, but they don't have to fill. This thing can keep going up forever and ever and ever. This company is just it's just being played I think solely based on Tesla, because I don't believe this company has posted a profitable quarter yet. I could be wrong. Please do not burn me. to the stake. I could be absolutely wrong on that, but I'm thinking the last time I looked into this, this was not posting profitable returns yet. However, they are possibly going to. I mean, it's a good company. They have a working product out on the road, and that's a lot more than other EV companies can say. I mean, yeah, it's bullish. It's bullish. So basically, what you want to do is you want to wait for like maybe a test of this area here at 53.75. You were close to that area, but you did not test it. So if you get a lower swing high here and you come back down, you definitely want to see this holding price on an hourly basis. Why an hourly basis? Because stocks are traded day by day and there's only 8 hours to do so. So essentially, if you get a push down to this level at 53.75, as long as you're closing hourly candles above that, would be a good spot to possibly look to get long. Once again, this is not financial advice, but that's what I'll be looking for. All right. This company it doesn't move extremely massive. I mean, it does have $4 and $5 moves intraday, but it isn't very, very parabolically, massively diabolical like Tesla moving $65 in one candle. Like this would be the safer play. Also with broke retail investors, they want to jump onto these plays, and the best way to do that is to buy a smaller price stock in order to do so. Obviously, Tesla's on a tear, and as long as Tesla's on a tear, this thing probably should be too. UVXY is an inverse. Let me pull it up here. UVXY. This is, I think, inverse to the SPY, if I'm not mistaken. It is an ETF. It says it right there, Pro Shares. Yeah, it looks like you're forming a bottom, but if you're looking at this like saying I want to short the S&P 500 or I want to get long this because it looks like it's bottoming out, then you do have a market structure level here, and you are closing on an 8-hour basis, which is a daily time frame. Let's go to this daily chart here because that is absolutely different. So I was wrong on that. All right, so you have there. This thing is so gappy and crazy. So your first area to look for resistance, if you buy down here, if you're looking to get long, 10.71 is going to be your first area to look for a resistance hold. If you're bullish on this, you absolutely need to see a daily closure above this candle's, at least above the closing price of this bullish candle. So until you get up into this area, I would leave this thing alone, because chances are any test of this area, as you can see, every single time it tries to go up, it is met with intense selling pressure. So another pop-up is just going to be another opportunity for sellers to re-engage this market. So it could be looked at as a hedge play as long as you understand your risk, the risk involved. It could be a hedge play if you think the S&P 500 is going to roll over. AAVE for Kimberly. AAVE. I am not getting that. So is this I don't know what this is. For some reason, I cannot pull that up. I apologize. Oh, yeah. AAVE. Yeah, it's not pulling up. Oh, it's crypto. I'm sorry. Gotcha. All right, so this is verse Tether. I have no idea what this is. This is a Brandon question, but I can absolutely technically analyze it for you. So let's go with this swing low. Let's put our ascending trend line in, so that way we have an idea as to where we are no longer bullish on this. These trend lines, I don't look at them as necessarily the hold price. I essentially look at them as areas where I will no longer look to buy pullbacks. If we break this market structure level here, which is this last down closing candle at 127.287, if you get a daily closure below that, this could hold as support. But if you close below that and you break below this swing low here, then it's possibly that's where I would start to no longer look for buying opportunities of pullbacks. So here, this would be a good area to look for a support hold. That level, once again, is 127.287. You are off to the races. This was a nice pullback. I don't see what level it found. Let's see what we got here. There is your level right there. This is what price found on an 8-hour time frame on that pullback. You can see clearly this last bearish candle, you had a strong bullish push, consolidation or not accumulation. This would be more or less just consolidation. It isn't distribution neither, because price is leaving that area. You came back down and you tested this last bearish candle closing, or the opening price of this bearish candle. You tested it, and see ya. This was a good area to look to buy. Obviously, that's hindsight, but this is how I find my levels. If you just watch more of my videos in the channel, you will see this is how I get my levels. These levels are good for intraday trades. They're also good for swing trades. So moving forward, there's really nothing to do. You have this bearish candle right here. So if you're bullish on this asset, if you reject from here and you close back down to here, I don't necessarily think that I would look to buy that instantly, obviously. But if you close an 8-hour candle above this market structure swing high right here, as long as you're closing above there, then you come back down. If you do get a lower test than that line, that would be a good area to look for support hold. But we wait for candle closures. We do not buy simple touches. So if price comes back down into this line, don't front run it and just instantly buy. You need to wait for a signal, and a signal would be a test, push below, and a close back above. Dylan Bennett, what's up, Tom? Dylan Bennett, can you check out UK 100 and DAX 30, please? Yes, UK 100. Let's look at it on Oanda. Yigal Patel, please do these streams regular. I will, dude. I didn't know that I could do them, bro. I've been working on it very hard. I went and got another apartment and tried to get internet hooked up there so I could basically bounce it off of my neighbor's connection. So we'll see how it goes, but it seems to be holding. You guys aren't complaining about me going in and out. So yeah, absolutely. Every Saturday, possibly Sunday, I might do them. Maybe a couple of days through the week, but they will be at the end of the week, at the end of the day, guys. And I apologize about that. But there is an opportunity cost for me to do this stuff during normal trading hours. And it's a lot of work, but I will absolutely do it more. This was a test stream just to see if my internet could hold up. So yeah, thank you very much. And thank you guys for the support. So here's the UK 100. Let me get rid of all these old drawings. All right, let me just pull out a monthly here so I can see what I'm looking at. All right, so I mean, this is nice, and you're trading above. Like if you throw a fib level on from where all that over there to here, like you can see you're clearly trading in the upper end of the range. This is a range. It looks like you're holding from, well, we'll just go ahead and call that it, because it is a monthly candle, but that's going to be your lower end of the range. Your higher end of the range is going to be up here at this market swing high. So let's go back down into it daily and see if we can't get some intra-monthly range candles for you to look out for. All right, so you're coming back down. You have pushed up above this swing high, all right, which is nice and strong close. This is not strong selling. This is nice, methodical profit taking. You have found support right here, but you are working to close below that. Or I don't think this trades 24/7, so you have closed below that. My next area to look for support would be 6510 spot 80, which is simply the opening price of this bearish candle here. 6510 spot 80. All right. If you want to go in, if you don't think price is going to make it that low, this is already being tested. As you can see, this was your last bearish candle before the push up. You can see that beautiful touch right there. All right. This is why I don't use traditional support and levels that much. I will use them to show people how to use them, but these are the best ways to get your close to price ranges. This way you can absolutely watch to see what happens. You came down, you tested this area. Now you did not take out the high of that bearish candle, which is what you absolutely want to see to happen if bulls regain control of this market. You want to see daily closures above this bearish candle. If you get that, that's going to be your next area to watch, the opening price of that bearish candle. So essentially, if this is an 8-hour chart, so if you close 8-hour candles below 6642 spot 30, look for that daily level to come into play. And if also you look at this, look how that daily level coincides beautifully with this bearish candle on an 8-hour chart. When you have levels like that, when the daily level is also in confluence beautifully and perfectly with the 8-hour level, those are beautiful areas to watch. Absolutely watch for that area. Now, I don't know if that area will hold support. Like I said, you wait for closures. If you're getting 8-hour closures above that level, I would be assuming that it would be safe to at least target back to this level here at 6642 spot 30. MVIS. Hang on, let me make sure I didn't forget anything. DAX 30. DAX 30. Let's see. How does this pull up? This isn't something that I trade very often, so you may Corn USD. Let me just scroll back to see if I forget anything else before I keep going. All right, everything looks good. Hey, bro, if you could give me that, like, the actual ticker symbol, that would help. I don't know if it's this thing. I mean, I don't know. Is that the DAX 30? Is this a future? Do I need to find the front month contract? I don't know what to type in. DAX 30 just pulls up this stuff here, and it's not really giving me. I mean, I wouldn't trade this. I guess, I mean, this is very, very low liquid stuff here. I mean, very, very low liquid. Like it. All right, that looks better. The daily looks better. I can get some levels, but if this is not the chart you want to look at, let me see. Dylan, if this is not the chart you want to look at, please give me the full ticker symbol. That would be very helpful. DE30. Got you. I don't trade this, so it's not on my normal repertoire. DE30. All right. PVC, let's pull up Oanda because I'm an Oanda man. All right, that looks better. This is similar to the other one that I looked at. This was a nasty sell-off, but you have taken back all of that. That is bullish, man. Looks like the S&P 500, so I mean, it's bullish. The Germany 30. Yeah, it looks like you have put in a small intern top here. All right, this doesn't mean get bearish. This thing is absolutely bullish. You could throw in a trend line here if you wanted to. It would be kind of a steep one. No, you can't. You've already broke below that. All right, so scratch that idea. All right, let's come back here and see what we can do. Let's go from this swing low here and see what that looks like. There. All right, so as long as you're maintaining price above that level, you're good. This is going to be a no-fly zone market structure low level, but you got a long ways to go to get down to there. All right, so essentially, you have retested the closing price of this bearish candle right here. So this is going to be your near-term price level to look for closures below or above. I mean, it looks like it could be being reaccumulated here. It's possible. So just look on an hourly chart. I'm sure this would go well with it as well. As long as you're not closing like down here. If you can see, you got these closures, but it was obviously a fake out. So I don't know. Try an 8 hour, do an 8 hour. Yeah, better, much better. Look at an 8 hour. As long as you're closing 8 hour candles above that, if you close a strong bearish 8 hour candle below that, your next level is right under price. So I wouldn't use that level. I would use this level right here. 1342, 13421 spot 80. That's if you break and hold below this level. I mean, this is going to be a swing low. It's going to come into play before this level does here. So, I mean, these are going to be your near term. I don't see price testing these areas this week unless we get some unforeseen news item. You know what I mean? I mean, we can't forecast what's going to happen, but we can absolutely get an edge by finding these levels, watching these levels, and absolutely see how price reacts around them. Price does tip its hand, guys. It doesn't. I mean, like this right here, I would have still been watching this. Even though it closed below that daily level, I still would have watched that because even though it closed bearish, it wasn't a strong bearish close. Your very next candle, you pushed out of there hard. And look at that beautiful retest right there. Boom. That was your retest. Old support or old resistance, now support. But you're testing that level again. So I wouldn't look at this level because you've already tested it here and you've tested it here. This level was already tested too, so it's going to be, watch this level, 13771 spot 0. If you break below that and close, your next area is 13577. And then this level all the way down here. I don't see that happening. This is bullish. I mean, I would look for areas of a lower or higher low support to come into play if you're looking to get long. Dash USD, let me make sure I didn't pass anybody up. All right, definitely passed the test. Thank you very much, Dave. Tom O'Donnell, you the man. Can you look at Snow? Thanks. Snow. I think this is a recent IPO. No, it is not. I am wrong. Snowflake. Okay. I don't trade this. Well, it's not super old, but it's not super new either. All right. So right off the bat, basically you have a traditional, I like to call them traditional support and resistance area right about here. All right. It's a little whacked out. I like that area better. So you can clearly see that this has reacted, price has reacted with this level on multiple occasions. So this would be your traditional support and resistance level. That level is 272.84. All right. Now, when you made this all-time high up here, you traded down strong. You came up, you made a lower swing high, and then you took out this low right here with another lower low. All right. You have essentially just made another lower high. So I don't know. I mean, if you can't close another 8-hour candle back below 272.84, it might be a good opportunity to look for a long. Possibly this could be getting reaccumulated right here. I'm not exactly sure what this does. I haven't looked at the company reports on or anything, so I don't really know what this does. So I can't really tell you anything other than that. This is going to be your first area of resistance. This bullish candle here, that level is 305 on the nose, 305.00. This area is going to be your first area to break and get a close above. If you get a close above that, you have another very important area right there. All right. So you essentially have this conglomeration of resistance staring you in the face. If you catch support down here, all right, I don't know why it's catching support right there. Let me go see. Yes, I still don't know really what's going on, but it doesn't matter. I mean, we can't predict where price is going to find support. That's why we have to let it show us where it's finding support and resistance. It's clearly finding support right here at 282. So as long as you're closing at least 8-hour candles above that level, you could look for a test of 305. You need an 8-hour closure above 310 for you to get bullish on this. So essentially what you want to look for if you're bullish is you want to see a move like this, an impulse wave, and then a corrective wave back into this area. And that area you definitely want to see hold for your next impulse push higher. All right. So that's what you want to look for on this to get bullish. If you buy down here, you take a risk of getting stopped out because you have this market structure low down here that holds more weight than this one does. Currently, this one is holding support, but you're not making higher highs. You see how price is kind of compressing lower and lower and lower. So it almost looks like it is absolutely trying to break out to the downside. So I wouldn't necessarily get long here just because price is currently holding support at that level at 382. But you can absolutely look, if it does hold support, wait for at least a strong bullish candle and then a retest of possibly the last bullish closing candle. All right. Well, we got Snow DE30. I think I did that backwards. That's all right. You have been going for an hour. I don't know. Have I? No, 48 minutes. What's up, Brandon? 48 minutes, bro. Join late great stream. Did you look at .btc? No, I hadn't got to that yet. I started trying to help everybody out. All right, so let's go back into this. Let's go back to ADA because I was done with ADA. Look for this to break out. I mean, that's all I can say on ADA, guys. I mean, this is going to be a market structure level, just this swing low, and then this swing low down here. So I would look for support to hold at one of these two areas. If you get 8-hour closures below that, unfortunately, you could be heading lower. I don't see that happening. This thing is uber bullish right now. It hasn't been in its entirety, but right now, it is nice and strong. You have cleared this swing high and you have used that swing high as support. You see that right there? Let me just pull this level over here and show you. Basically, boom, that's your support. So this looks like it's accumulating. Oh, microphone. Looks like it's accumulating to move higher. ETH BTC is strong. ETH, is still strong. You just already tried to break out again, man. This thing is unstoppable, guys. I mean, that was a beautiful test of that trend line right there. That's about the only thing I see currently why it would have tested that area. So this right here, people stepped in front of that hard. This thing is bullish. If you close below here, I would look for the next candle to break out because this, like I said earlier on the weekly wicks, on an 8-hour wick, it's just essentially a pullback on a smaller time frame chart. You see this? This is your hourly candle. You broke above. You stopped everybody out. So if everybody's selling this, like when I say everybody, I don't mean retail. I mean like people that move markets. If they're selling into these orders up here, then you will have a strong bearish push out of this area. This isn't a strong bearish push out of this area. You are testing it time and time again. I look for this to break out. .USD. It's nice and doing the same thing as Cardano and ETH BTC. I mean, it is pushing because Bitcoin is weakening, but that really doesn't matter. I mean, the way pairs work, if you're new to trading crypto pairs or Forex pairs, is you're trading one asset versus another asset. So currently you're looking at the DOT price versus the US dollar. The US dollar is weak. That is only going to help DOT. But if DOT is strong, then you get moves like this. Boom. Like the dollar hasn't been that weak. I mean, it has, but you know what I'm saying? This is strong. This is good. You have accumulation happening right underneath this level. You are currently testing that level on a daily basis right now. So this area, if you get a daily closure above, look for a retest of that area. All right. If you get a hold up there, who knows? Going higher. Let's look for targets. So if you pull out 3-day chart here, shrink it. Oh, yeah, there is none. This thing is straight up bullish. Oh, my God. This thing is bullish. All right. So Susan Moore, investigate with Mrs. Kate and emoji on Bitcoin has changed my finance. Oh, great. Awesome. I'm glad you gave me that number so that way I can change my financial life too. Thank you very much. All right, so here we go, DOT USD. Yep, there's nothing to do here, guys. You got to wait for a support hold. I mean, yeah, you already got it, basically. So I don't know. I wouldn't touch it. Let it break out. Let it suss itself out. Let it come back and let it find higher low support. Then you can look to re-enter long. .BTC is just phenomenally insane. I mean, that's bullish. Retest, bullish. You took out this market structure and you took it out strong. You even had a retest of that level. A few retests and you're going strong higher. So the next thing to watch for would be a retest of this area here at 53332. All right. This is from a longer time. Oh, this is just this high. All right. So yeah, it looks like it's trying to take that out. All right. So it looks like that's going to be the target, or that's what it's trying to do. You've almost assumed that target. So on a smaller time frame, you just have to wait for lower high support to come into play before you can get long targeting that area. It is an uptrend. It is very, very bullish. Mike Z, thanks for your snow analysis. I am wondering what your thoughts are on using 8-hour charts on stocks when regular trading hours is 6. All right. Yeah, about that, Mike. Thank you. You're welcome. An 8-hour chart on a stock chart is essentially the daily, but you can use the daily. I mean, if you're looking longer time frame, like if you're trying to swing trade it or invest in it, yeah, you can use the 8-hour. I use the 8-hour when I'm looking at stocks, when I'm doing analysis. It's safer to use the daily because some of those things close at different levels. Like the US stock market always closes at 4:30 or 4 o'clock. So it's safe to use the 8-hour chart on US stock markets, but like other things might not be so good. Stream quality is great, by the way. That's awesome, man. I've been working so hard to get this live stream up and running, man. I've been working on it for a month. I had to get another apartment, try to get internet at that apartment and all this other stuff. I was trying to do everything. The reason I can't get it is because my neighbor has it and I live in a duplex. So it's I don't know, man. Comcast is finicky about certain stuff. They're just being dicks. Pardon my French, but I think if I'm willing to pay you the money to have you drop another line, you should drop another line. If I want 3 lines, why can't you do it? But whatever. I appreciate it, Brandon. All right, so that's pretty much all I was looking at for the Crypto Weekly Outlook. I'll give you guys a few minutes if you want. Oliver, can you explain why you use sometimes the top and sometimes the bottom of the candle? Thank you. Absolutely, I can. All right, so we'll just use DOT since it's here. When I'm taking where I think there is a possibility for price to find support. So if price is trading above a level, I want to use that not the swing high, but the opening price of a bearish candle in an uptrend. because the opening price of a bearish candle in an uptrend is essentially like a hiccup, so to speak. For some reason, that area stopped price in its tracks. You had a small pullback and then price reaccumulated up out of that area. So I use the top of that area when price is above it, essentially the opening price of the bearish candle if price is above it. Now, as you can see, when this price bar pushed up, you made another swing low. All right, that on a lower time frame chart is a swing low. Do you see that? So yes, if I'm putting my levels on the top end and the bottom end, essentially, or the opening and the closing price, essentially what I'm saying is look for support to come into play there. If you don't get it, then look for the low edge of the swing low. I hope that makes sense. But yeah, and if I'm shorting, let me go over here. Oh no, I have to pick something else. Let's use ETH for this, not to poop on ETH, but just to kind of show you what I'm talking about in a downtrending market as well, because this works exactly the same way. So if I'm using a level, give me 1 second. Let me widen this out, make it bigger so you can see. All right. So essentially this is a expansion on a weekly or monthly time frame period. So this is your range expansion on the weekly or monthly candle. All right. So this area, because it's your last bullish candle, I would use the opening price of the bullish candle simply because price is now under it. So when price comes back up into it to test, I want it to see it test the lower end first, because a lot of times you will turn around right there on a dime and just see it. You won't go through it. But you can see here with this push down, corrective, push. So you have impulse, corrective, push. This is a swing high. So I would also mark that candle specifically because it's a swing high. So I hope that makes sense, man. That's basically it. I use price analysis by looking at candlesticks. I've been studying candlesticks for years and years and years, man. And this is how I trade. And I rip profitable trades out of the market almost every single day. We killed it yesterday in the chat. We killed it the day before that. I mean, it's just, these levels work, guys. I wouldn't be coming on YouTube and doing all this if I didn't think that it had merit. I mean, it does. So it doesn't always work. Every strategy in trading works. It has its benefits and it has its upsides and downsides. Everything works in trading, just not all the time. All right. So if there's anything else I can do for you guys, I'm going to cut it quick. We've been on for an hour. This was a test stream. I really appreciate everybody showing up. That makes so much sense. Thank you so much for that explanation. You are more than welcome, guys. More than welcome. It is my pleasure. So that's everything I got for you guys. I'll give you a few more seconds to throw some stuff in here. Let's go look at, well, we'll look at the Forex pairs tomorrow. Let me go back to Tesla real quick because I didn't like what I did on that pair or on that asset. Give you guys time to corn. Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. Thank you. I forgot all about that. Thank you very much for reminding me. Corn USD. Massively. This was a strong push. Strong push. These are monthly charts. So you had years worth of consolidation here. All right. You broke out of that consolidation. You tried to break out of it here, but then you went back into it, but you did break out of it here. So going further, let's check out what we got. All right. So that level coincides. You are coming. This is almost parabolic. Excuse me. This is almost parabolic and you are coming down. Right now you are about or are testing or will be testing this area here at 4.893. All right. This is going to be your first area to look for a support hold. Let's go see if we got anything on an 8-hour. Yep, that's also going to be your first spot on an 8-hour. Right there it is. So this is another one of those candles where it coincides beautifully with the daily. So this area will hold, at least, at the very least, you will get a bounce out of that. I've noticed that anyway. It's called C.T.M and subscribers for the first hour. About 45 minutes in an hour, I start getting C.T.M and or subscribers in the stream. Did I miss MVIS? Just listening at work. No, I will do that just as soon as I'm done with this corn. All right. So if you get a closure below this level at 4.892, this is consolidation. This was essentially a bull flag or a wedge pattern. You broke up out of there, but you have found resistance up here. So we'll mark that swing high for future price reactions. Your next untested level is going to be 4.585. So if you get 8-hour closures below this level, say you break down below it, a nice push, you close strong below it, you come back and you fail to get back above this right here would be the target. I wouldn't look to short it because it is so bullish, but I would just simply say, this is not financial advice, look for this area to hold as support if this area doesn't hold. All right. MVIS. Let's check out MVIS. Microvision. All right. So what we got going on here? Let me see what this thing's been doing for its entirety. It's been going down, 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 but you have broken about above this market structure, and this is a monthly, so it is very strong, very strong. That was resistance, should come into play as support possibly in the future. So we will leave that area marked there with a white line. So in term, like for this range here, it looks to be like you are trying to form some sort of a pennant pattern. All right, you do have that going on. You do have this going on. Get on there. There you go. So essentially you want to wait until this price breaks out of this area. You don't want to do anything in the middle of this range because you can get chewed up. There is a level right here. You can look for a support hold if you think it's going to break out to the upside. This is a daily chart. That level is 5.89. All right. So look for that. You got this ascending trend line as going to be some confluence as well. This was bullish. You know, obviously this was bullish. This was a slight pullback. You are moving higher. Okay. So you did close right on this bearish candle's opening price or right around it. So essentially this is your swing high that is holding current price. So a test down to here would be beautiful. Actually, I would love it. You get that, you could possibly look for that to hold a support. If you close a daily candle below this swing low here, that means you would have taken out this line, this ascending trend line, and you would have taken out this market structure level. So you would have to look for this swing high to come into play. I mean, this swing low, apologies, right there at 4.94. But all in all, man, it doesn't look bad. It looks like it's consolidating. Look for a support test right there at 5.89. LRCUSD. Absolutely, I will look at that for you. I don't know what this is. It's obviously a crypto, but I mean, I don't know its use case. This thing is broken out. You took out these swing highs here. This was a downtrend. You had a nice pop, retested, and out of there you went with fury. This is going to be your area to look for as your last line in the sand for this formation to hold. You have pretty much the same thing going on here with this swing, with this high and this high. All right. So I don't need to draw a trend line to the upside or an ascending trend line, essentially. I guess you could, because we don't know if price is going to come back down to this swing low. This is your last bearish candle, but you can see that we have already tested that area and are currently trading out of the area. So you might have missed the boat on this. All right. If you get another test of this ascending trend line, I guess, as long as you're not closing daily candles below this swing low, because if you do get a daily closure below this, then something has changed. Does that make sense? So as long as you're in this area, look for the breakout to the upside. If you start breaking lower, unfortunately, the last bearish candle is all the way down at 0.1759. There's probably there's probably stuff to look for lower. There is right here on a 4-hour chart that will absolutely act as some kind of resistance at 292. So it's not just going to drop all the way down here. Well, we don't know what's going to happen, but you get the point. So yeah, it looks like it's accumulating, man. You definitely don't want it to break down because that would imply that the bears have regained control. Can you look at 8-hour Bitcoin USD? Yeah, I did Bitcoin at the beginning of the stream. I can do it again because I'm running a little bit over, but that's all good. All right, so Bitcoin, from what I can see, we are trading in a longer term triangle. I mean, this basically I got from this swing low down here to this swing low. So this is going to be basically the line in the sand. All right, this level at 26482.64 is simply the opening price of this bearish candle right here. Okay, That is going to be my next area to look for support. Bitcoin trades very technically though. So like you could find support at this low, you know what I mean? At that wick low, you could possibly find support. But you did close a daily candle below this market structure, swing low here, and this swing low. So essentially with this bearish candle, you took out 2 swing lows. That doesn't mean that the bears are in control. That just means that people are taking profits and the bulls have yet to re-engage the market. When Bitcoin gets wind and it sells, man, I mean, just you can go back and look at past price data, but the past isn't indicative of future results. But you can see when that thing gets going, it gets going. And it's not trading like it did last year or back in 2017. Simply stating, I showed the weekly candle. Let me get rid of these drawings. You have 2 weekly candles. This one is trying to close below the opening price of this weekly candle, but you haven't even taken the low out of this 1 weekly candle yet. And you've already had a weekly close. This is not a blow off top. It's not even close to a blow off top. I'm a technical analyst and this is perfect. This is beautiful. This is just like selling. It's like consolidation, essentially, maybe reaccumulation. So essentially what you want to see is you want to see price not closing below the this wick, or it's going to test this level down here, which is just this bullish close. I mean, that's just going to be like your next traditional, I guess, area to look for. But going into an 8 hour, you can get, I would use the top of that bearish candle instead. 272.00 spot 00. That is an untested level. I mean, oh no, it was tested there. My bad. So the last untested level is all the way down here. Now, when I say untested level, it doesn't mean that price is going to go down there. It just means that it could. And that level is 237.18 spot 61. But you're making lower highs and lower lows. This is essentially until you close an 8 hour candle above this market structure, you are still just making lower highs, which is okay to do. Like I said, it's not. When you start seeing massive bearish candles just drop and drop and drop, and that's when it's time to start thinking that something else is going on. Just think of all the FUD we had last week, and this isn't bad selling at all. This is a highly constructive, very constructive price action going on here. So I'm just going to put that there. We'll see what happens. But yeah, yep, if we close a weekly candle red tomorrow, I will be buying a little bit more Bitcoin. That's just the way I'm rolling. That's how I do it. I buy weekly closing red candles. Boom, 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 boom. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap it up here. I'm sweating. I was really nervous, so I really appreciate you guys' patience, and we'll do these more often now that I know that I can. So it feels like CME gap wants to be filled. Yeah, about that, bro. Just try not to think of gaps. Let me go over here real quick. I'll show you real quick, and then I'll sign off. Oh, wrong one. Sorry. Real quick, right here. All right, CME gap. So you do have a CME gap right here, resting below 2,600. I could see that happening. I would absolutely look for a support hold there, though. Absolutely. If you do close that gap, I wouldn't be trying to look for this gap to close down here. I don't look for gaps to fill, and gaps do not have to fill. Always remember that, guys. I can show you chart after chart after chart. I'm not going to do it, but I can show Amazon. Just go look at Amazon on a daily closing basis. There's like 18 gaps on that chart that's never been filled. You can find gaps on Apple. You can find gaps on SPY. Every asset has gaps almost in the stock market that doesn't close. This doesn't have to close. They do most of the time. That's true, but it doesn't have to. But that would be a good level. 24,170. That'd be a good level to look for support hold. You would close that gap, and bulls would probably get right back into this market. All right, guys. Y'all have a great day. And that was the crypto weekly outlook. So tomorrow we will do the Forex weekly outlook, and I will see you then. Thank you, guys.